Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Cynthia Miller. I'd like to welcome you to our Activation Summit. I'm with my co-host, Orshi Liptik-Bennett. Say hi, Orshi.
Hello, everyone.
Just want to make sure that everybody's audio is working, that you can hear us. We're going to talk today about the energy of self-healing. So we're just going to wait a couple more minutes, make sure everybody's in that wants to join us. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I love this stuff, and I just hope that you do too. We've got lots to share. We'll just turn the volume on my music down a little bit. There we go. So yeah, we're going to get started real quick here. I know people sometimes join right at the last minute, so we don't want to leave anyone out. And as you noticed when you came in that you're muted and we've got the recording going, so we just have a couple minutes to sort of talk about sort of some housekeeping things before we get started. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, and Orshi's going to do the same. We've got two great speakers for you tonight, and we'll repeat this again Tuesday and Wednesday with two different speakers each night. But before we jump into all of that, yeah, there's someone else joining. Let's, I want to see who's here. So please, let's open up your chat and tell us where you're calling in from. Now, if you're not familiar with Zoom, you can hover over the bottom of your screen, and there is a chat button. There's somebody else coming in. Welcome, Sandy. So we're just getting everybody to chat about where you're coming in from, and maybe Daylan, if you want to have a look at that and just let us know. Lisa's from Vancouver. Great to see you here. I'm so happy you guys are here. Yeah, Sandeep's in New Delhi. Wow. Questions to ask Trish, and we're going to go now from the physical, talking about food and how to manage the cravings, right into Sandeep's talk about consciousness. And this is, you know, I love this subject matter. So Sandeep, let's make you the spotlight. Thank you so much, Trish. Enjoyed it so much. Okay, I think we need to do this.
Okay, Cynthia, should I go?
Yes, I think we're
Okay.
ready. So Sandeep, I didn't even do really very much of an introduction, but I just want to say that we met in a networking group, and I had so many questions for you that day too. You talked about consciousness, and I watched your YouTube videos talking with your guests that you were interviewing, and I just find this fascinating to listen to what you have to say. So without further ado, please introduce yourself and let us know, you know, what you've been doing. You told me a little bit when we met, but I know you can do a better job. Thanks, Sandeep.
Okay. You know, with a lot of love, affection, and gratitude, I welcome all of you. And thank you, Cynthia and Orshi, for giving me this opportunity, you know, to talk to so many lovely souls. I'll leave my introduction to the end, right? So I'll just straightway jump into the topic. And I loved your topic, and this is the reason I immediately said yes. Okay, now, you know, when we talk of healing, have you ever noticed that there's always a small voice inside you, we may call it intelligence, telling you not to do what your brain or mind is forcing you to do or is pushing you to do? Since that small voice does not have logic, it's very soft, we tend to ignore that voice. And later on, we realize that had we followed the small voice or that small intelligence, it would have been much better. So guys, I want to hear from you Have you ever heard that small voice inside you?
Sure we
Cynthia,
did.
why don't you just remove the spotlight so I can see everyone and we could just interact, talk?
All right, I will. Yes, let me just have a look there. There we go. There's the button. Got the right button there.
Oh, brilliant. And guys, I would love if you can switch on your cameras so we can see each other.
Thank
We
you,
can
Sandeep.
exchange
Yes.
energies, you know, we can interact. I think that'll make it much more exciting and better.
Nice. Sandeep is in India,
Yeah, I'm in India.
New Delhi, right?
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
honestly, I practice saying good evening, because for me it's early morning.
Right, right.
Okay, so guys, I would request you to recall a time, when your brain, your mind, with all its logic, all its knowledge, all its experiences were pushing you in a certain direction to take a decision or action. Whereas something inside you, in some corner inside you was saying, hey, hold on, not this way, go the other way. And then you said, Shah, there's no logic, let me go the logical way. And later on, you said, bad luck. I wish I'd heard my little voice. I would have been happier. I would invite you, one or two people, just to unmute and share your experience if you would like to do that. Would anyone like to share their experience? Where?
Anyone?
I will share.
Thanks, Archie.
I want to say that pretty much all my life, that wherever, how far back I can remember, I always would say that I've had a good intuition, whatever that means. I don't know if I ever have had that, made that conscious, but now I know today, after all of the journeys that I've gone through in my quest of my own health and wellness, how important it is today now, and how I listen to my intuition and that little voice. And it's difficult to allow it, that you listen to it, because logically, right, we all want to have this decision that's based on facts and analytics, and so the logical mind. So all of a sudden, when you actually rely on more of that intuitive little voice, that the soul, that connection, that is definitely a journey, and it takes time to practice. But today, now, I'm actually much better at listening to that little voice.
Brilliant, Orshi. Thank you very much. And just taking forward, what she said, why do we tend to ignore that little voice? We hear it still, we don't pay attention to it. They're primarily three intelligences or three voices working in us 24/7. One is the body intelligence. Now, the body intelligence is loud, is like a child. And when it comes, it gets activated, it cries, it howls, right? And it is all about I, me, my. It's grossly selfish. And rightly so. You see, if you've got to go to the washroom, you've got to go to the washroom. If you're in pain, you are in pain. And in case you are craving for something, you are craving for something, you got to recognize that and take action, like Trish said. And this is so because the body knows only three things. And what are those three things? Organic satisfaction, organic survival, and organic reproduction. The body doesn't know the fourth thing. So this is one extreme. The other extreme is the spirit. Is the spirit, which gives us energy, which is fundamental to us being alive, because if you remove the spirit, which we call the soul, from this equation of spirit, body, and mind, we are dead. So the spirit is the prime mover. Now, Like the body was totally I, me, my, the spirit is totally we are us, inclusive, full of love, mutuality. It helps us to see beyond ourselves. And the spirit's voice is the sanest voice and the softest voice. And a number of times it comes, there's always a logic behind it, but a number of times it comes with, we feel that it's coming without any logic, because from the space, the spirit sees things our mind does not see it. To give you an example, if you're standing on the 5th story of a building, your vision would be limited. But the moment you go on the 10th, the vision expands. You see much larger area. And in between the two is the mind. Now the mind keeps on, shuttling between the body and the spirit. And when it's towards the body, you react selfishly, you think selfishly. It gets influenced by the body. And when it's towards the spirit, you are very benevolent, you're very selfless, you're very forgiving, you're full of energy, because it is influenced by the spirit. Therefore, the mind is the duality aspect. And along with mind comes your ego. Ego is all about I. My experience has been this, therefore this is correct. My thought has been this, therefore this is correct. Then there are perceptions and emotions and how to react to situations, people, and you form your own opinions. So it's duality. And the voice of the mind and body put together literally drowns the voice of the spirit. Now, okay, guys, how many of you would like to become more conscious of the voice of the spirit? That's your intuition. And how many would you like to rely on it, use it in your day-to-day life, use it in meetings with open eyes? Just show me a thumbs up. Brilliant. Thank you. When you want a house, first you buy the land, then you build the house, and then you decorate the house. Similarly, what I have done is, I've divided my presentation or my talk with you in 3 parts. That is the background, which I just completed. Now I'll talk of the foundation, that is the walls, and then I'll talk of the application, that is how to make your intuition work for you 24/7. And when I say work for you, it's already working for you by you becoming cognizant and taking advantage of it. Okay, I became a chartered accountant, which is called a CPA in your world, in '79. Initial years was great, fantastic. I was achieving everything. And then zoom, I went down and down and down. And a stage came when I wanted to end my life. I just couldn't bear that pain, that trauma of failure anymore. And that is the time, when my spiritual guru walked in, caught hold of me by my neck, shook me. And I started realizing and understanding all about energies, all about life, all about what we need to do, what we don't need to do. And from that emerged a very simple formula, AOPA. A standing for attention management. O standing for observation. P standing for pause. And again, A standing for acceptance. If you want to think something, you want to do something, attention. Attention is the prime mover. Without attention, you just cannot do anything. And like Trish said today, the biggest challenge we are facing is managing our attention. And attention management has been a part of, or say has been a part of human training right from ancient times. Right from ancient times, because that is the core which drives us. Now, science says the way we develop our physical body, the same way we can develop our attention. It's just a muscle you got to exercise in your internal gym. And believe me, it is very simple. Okay, guys, how long do you think can you hold your attention? 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour? Come
That's a
on.
good question. That's a good question.
Yeah.
It depends on
on.
yeah. I have to really try hard to keep my focus. I'll admit that, but I have sort of
Okay.
surpassed what I used to be.
Sandra says, I make a lot of left turns. Okay, now let's do an exercise for 1 minute, only 1 minute. Okay. And I'm sure you must be knowing it, just focus on your breath exercise. But let's try it jointly. All you got to do is close your eyes, bring your attention to your breath, and just feel the sensations going in when you breathe in and the sensations when you breathe out. Your job is just to feel the sensations. And let us see whether your mind wanders or not. Are you guys done? Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you are ready. Brilliant. So at the count of 3, we'll close our eyes. We'll bring our attention to our nostrils. We'll breathe normally and just feel the sensation of the air going in and the air coming out. That's all. And just keep a check how many times your attention goes right, left, center, up and down. So, okay, here we go. 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, guys, open your eyes. Could you hold your attention or the attention wandered? Thoughts came in.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple times.
Couple of times. This is our attention span. And we can increase it to any extent we want. And research says that 50% time, our attention wanders. And if we believe that our life is 75 years, let's take out 1/3, that's 8 hours for sleeping. We are left with 50 years. And out of 50 years, if 50% time, our attention is not with us. This means we are wasting 25 years. So even if you improve your attention holding capacity by 10%, you gain 2.5 productive years in your life. The choice is yours. Like Trish said, choice is yours. Yes, choice is yours. And you will say, what is the way of increasing your attention? The very exercise or the test we did, just keep doing it for 5 minutes every day, and 15 days, you'll see your attention span has started increasing. And not only attention span has started increasing, a balance has started coming in between your sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. As a result, you're calmer, you're thinking better, your relationships are improving, you're taking wiser decisions. Everything is integrated. Now coming to O, when I say observation, when I ask people, they say, yeah, we are observing everything. I said, fine, you're observing, that's only 30% of the observation. 60% observation relates to what's happening inside you. Because I'm sure, whenever you get angry, there must be a tingling before you really burst in anger inside your body. When there's fear, there must be some churning inside you, because before it, comes out in the open. So every thought, every action, every stimuli, first creates two reactions inside us. One is in the body, and the other is external. And there is a gap between the internal reaction and the external reaction. And when we learn to identify that gap, like, Viktor Frankl has said, between the stimulus and the reaction, there's a space, and that space is your path or the way to freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from your unwanted reactions. Because if you learn to observe what's happening inside your body, you'll immediately decipher that, okay, I'm going to get angry now. I'm going to get very mushy now. I'm going to get very soft now. So rather than allowing your emotions to drive you, you will step into the stage of taking considered decisions, allowing rationality to drive you. And this space gives us the third thing, pause. The moment you realize that thing, just take one deep breath, and you will find that the emotional brain has let you go and your rational decision-making brain has taken over. Again, it's a very simple thing. All it requires is an intent and alertness. And the alertness comes from being observant, and being observant comes from managing your attention. And lastly, and the most important thing, acceptance. Acceptance of reality. All of us accept reality. We are happy we accept reality. But have you ever wondered the way we accept reality? We'll say, yes, I did fail, but. And then we get a rider or a justification along with it. Does it happen with all of you? Or some of you? You accept reality and then you get a rider or a reason along with it?
You're talking about accepting something, and then all the sort of validation, all the confirmation shows up for you.
Right.
Right.
Now, what happens in this case? Our attention shifts from the event or the episode or the reality to the validation and to the reasons, justifications, validations. And we are not in a position to take the considered decision or find a solution to it. You see, our brains are hardwired in such a way to help us not to be in pain. And to not to be in pain, we got to accept black as black, white as white, gray as gray. What is. Unless we do that, we will never find a solution. the moment you say you get a justification or a validation, you do not find a solution. You just keep on going round and round in what you have experienced in the past or done in the past. You don't move forward and you repeat the same mistake again. So, okay, this 4-alphabet formula: attention management, observation, which is internal and external, pause, and acceptance, for me, is laying the foundation. Because even if you do these 4 steps, you'll find a profound change coming in your personality, in your life. I've seen it in myself. From a reactive person, I've become a very responsive person. I used to get irritated at the drop of the hat. Now you really need to work hard to get me irritated. My attention used to be everywhere, never on what I'm doing. But now at least I get my attention to do what I'm doing. And now coming to our intuition part. Now this is the application part which I was talking about. I'm sure all of us face some problems, and there must be something going on in your mind at the moment. You might be struggling to find a solution. Just bring that problem to your mind and just think of the solutions which you have been toying with. I give you 30 seconds, do that, and then I'll take you into a meditation. And if you have a piece of paper, it'll be good if you write it down.
So you want us to write down the problem that we've been
Well,
struggling
it's
with?
your choice, the problem and what the solution which is coming to your mind
Okay,
at present.
okay.
Okay, should we start the meditation? Okay, guys, I would request you to bring your attention to your heart chakra. Heart chakra is over here in the center of your chest, in front of your ribs, okay? And just follow what I say. It's a guided meditation, but a very simple one. Close your eyes. Bring your attention to your heart chakra. And with every in-breath, visualize your heart chakra is getting full, is getting filled with love and compassion. With every in-breath, your heart chakra is getting filled with love and compassion. It is expanding in front of you, behind you, on your sides, above you. Love and compassion is expanding all sides. And now, love and compassion has reached your brain. Love and compassion is calming your brain. Your brain has calmed. You're full of love and compassion. You're radiating love and compassion. Your brain has calmed. Your brain is loving it. And with your brain and heart together, that is love, compassion, and calmness, your body has relaxed. And you're totally relaxed. And as I count from 5 to 0, you'll get into a deeper state of relaxation. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You're in a deep state of relaxation. Your heart, your brain, your body, all are synchronized. They're working at one frequency. And now in this space, place your problem. Do not think of a solution. Just place your problem. Don't think what the solution would be. Just place your problem. Enjoy that relaxation. Let that relaxation, that feeling of wholesomeness, that feeling of calmness penetrate you, penetrate every cell of your body. Be in the state. And now, as I count from 0 to 5, you will slowly come back to the room where you are. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can open your eyes and on that piece of paper, jot down whatever the first thought which comes to you. Just jot down the first thought which comes to you. Now, the first voice before we did the meditation was the voice of your mind, the voice of your brain. It was based on the experiences of this life. What you wrote down after the meditation was the voice of your spirit. It was based on what's good for you. Do you see any difference? Would anyone like to share with me what did they experience through the process, which hardly took 4 minutes? Yes, Oshi, would you like to say something?
Not specifically to your question, but all throughout your speech, I can't help myself but think of the body, mind, spirit coordination and harmonization in this process. And as an Ayurvedic health counselor, this is exactly what I try to educate my people about, how wellness and health cannot be isolated to only the physical body, and how important all of these energetics are, right? So I do a lot of meditation as I mean daily, as much as I'm able. And of course, I practice in that space as well. So at this point in time, I'm not sure if I'm just like, you know, I already do this every day, so I wasn't really in the moment here as much.
Okay, no issue. Yeah, someone else would like to share with me. What did they experience?
Anyone else want to share?
Before or after?
Well, for me, the second was quite a bit more calm. And there was a feeling of it's okay. So maybe acceptance of what the problem was. There wasn't such, you know, sort of turmoil about it. It wasn't turmoil, but, you know, it was definitely calmer and more just aware, I think. Yeah.
Yes, because just through the breathing and the relaxation in that time, I personally allow my mind to just wander wherever and whatever, and eventually at one point I think it lets go and flows freely. And for how this works for me is that I actually end up getting some sort of a downloads or response somewhere where all of a sudden I have a realization or an epiphany or so almost the answers are coming to me. I mean, when we're talking about, let's say we have a problem, how do we solve the problem? I like actually the answers to come to me through my emotional brain, like Sandeep, how you put it, right?
Thank you, Orshi. Yes, so Cynthia, you said, okay, there was a turmoil, and then you got a sense of acceptance. So do you think that acceptance is a solution?
Probably not, but it gave me a little bit of a different perspective to look at it. Like we always think problems are, oh my goodness, I got a problem, but it's okay to have problems. That's what life is about, right? And it's sort of like, I know how to figure it out. It's that confidence or that knowing or just what we were talking about, tapping into it, to trust it, trust my higher self. I shouldn't say it, but
Yeah.
trust
Yeah.
that
Yes.
I'm gonna figure it out, right?
There's a coordination between your body, mind, spirit, really, in essence, right, Sandeep? In order for that energy to actually come to answers. I mean, and yes, that knowing that you will get there, that that you actually are safe and that you have faith in the process and in your whole being, then every problem can be
Yes.
resolved and we can learn from them, right? And kind of transmute the energies.
That is true, Orshi, but there are very few people like you, by and large. You see, the thing is this, there are very few people like you, by and large people, go with the louder voices, that's the body or the brain voices, and they refuse to listen to the intuition part, right?
I was one
And
of them. And that's the only
even
reason
I was
I
one of
know.
them once upon a
I
time.
was one of them, and
Yeah.
it was so much noise. And so what I'm trying to, I guess, say to you guys, that I quieted the mind, which was a challenge for me, who is an avid thinker, and I always have to be engaged with something. So to quiet the mind so that I hear more of my soul messages.
Thank you, Orshi. Yes, so coming back to Cynthia. Cynthia, you said a shift in perception, accept the problem and take decisions, right?
Right,
So that opens a new path for you.
right.
And believe me, guys, I've been doing this. I've been helping a lot of leaders, and they have been using this technique, a simple technique, which you can do with your eyes open while you're in a discussion or even in a meeting. And they have found it very effective because new thoughts, new ideas, new perceptions, have come to them because they have been able to break out of that vicious circle, which their brain had put them into. So from getting into making it to a prestige issue in a discussion or a ego statement, they became more inclusive and came out with better decisions. So guys, this was from me today, and I believe that healing requires recognition of that inner voice. Till the time we do not recognize that inner voice, we will be on a seesaw. We do some external healing, then we go back. It would be like playing on a slot machine. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. So that was from me today. Thank you very much. I loved the entire I'm just loving the entire feel of the retreat Cynthia, you and Orshi have put together. It's brilliant. I would have loved that people would have been more participative.
That's okay. Sometimes we're shy,
That's
right?
okay. Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It was really good. I really, it got me thinking. Someone said something to me the other day. We are not the physical body. We are more than that. We are consciousness. And I thought, oh, that's what Sandeep is going to talk about the other night. And it's just sort of, I think we understand it intellectually, but to put it into practice. And, like Orshi said, she's, sort of from that place all the time. She's still got this, wonderful creative mind, but she's coming from that place of open heart and awareness. And, I think that for me anyways, that little exercise helped me to remember that I do have the capacity to sort of find solutions for my problems. So tell me, Sandeep, is the exercise that you talked about that we can learn how to do in meetings and conversations, is that what the practice that you took us through? Is that what you meant?
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
You
So
see,
breathing into the heart center.
breathe into
And-
the heart center,
Right.
allow it to fill with love and compassion, allow it to expand. As you visualize it expanding to your brain, automatically your brain would calm down, or just suggest your brain to calm down. When both have synchronized, focus on your body and you'll find that your body has also calmed down. Now, what is happening? What happens in this exercise? The frequency of our body, because everything is energy, is much higher than the frequency of our brain or the mind, and which is much higher than the frequency of the spirit. And since the three vibrate at different frequencies, therefore it becomes a challenge to bring them together. And this is the place where most people struggle.
That's right. That's exactly how the
so,
struggle is
Yeah,
in the space, that they have to actually understand that they cannot have all these different energetic bodies or systems go so far apart from each other from an electrical charge point of view or from a frequency point of view, which is where Activation Summit has come about, because sometimes it's the physical body that we need to boost with particular energetics, like let's say electrolytes or macro minerals or some good food, but sometimes it's the mind that needs a particular boost in that field. And then there is some also in the causal body, but of course we're going to talk about that another time. But I'm just saying that this coordination, I do see that people do struggle with. So this is why this summit, so that we bring awareness for these processes and that we understand that we just have to practice them. We got them, but we just got to practice them and bringing these bodies closer to each other in frequency, right? So there's
right. So taking it forward, when both of them synchronize, the body automatically relaxes. When the three are in absolute harmony, then the little voice becomes stronger and it is heard loud and clear. And I suggested not to think about the solution for the simple reason, had we done that, we would have activated the mind energy. And the mind energy again would have drowned the little voice. And guys, look, I firmly believe knowing is great, but the proof of the pudding is in action, applying it. There was a big Indian philosopher, a great Indian philosopher, you might have heard his name, Dr. Radhakrishnan. He said one thing: any model, any knowledge, any philosophy, any religion which cannot help to improve human life is meaningless. So therefore, my focus is always on action. And what I shared with you are the AOPA. Again, they're actions. You got to work on yourself. And then the little exercise so that you could synchronize the three elements of your system, the human construct. Okay, and Cynthia, if you give me 2 minutes more, can I just explain one thing more?
Yes, and Sandy has a question too, and
Okay.
of course I do as well.
Okay.
And I do about 20.
Okay, so just let me explain one thing. You see, we are made of three energies, right? the soul, the mind, and the body. Now let's look at their relationship. I remove the soul. What happens? I die.
Yeah.
I bring the soul back. I'm alive again. I remove the mind. I'm alive, but not capable of thinking and taking action. I bring the mind back. I remove the body. I don't exist.
Yeah.
I bring the body back. So what Oshi said, yes, the three need to be nourished in their own ways. The challenge arises when you nourish the body without nourishing the mind or the spirit, or you nourish the mind and brain to such an extent that you neglect the spirit and the body. So therefore, you got to strike a balance. All the three need to be nourished, and to lead a happy, a contented, successful life, we need to bring the three into alignment. Because guys, in life, to excel and thrive in life, nothing less than an integrated approach works, and nothing more is required.
I
It
love
is a
that.
simple
Awesome.
formula. Yes, the questions, I'm ready.
Yes, I really like that. I think, Sandy, your question that you had chatted in there was you weren't sure if it was your spirit voice when we did the
Yeah.
exercise, and how can you identify it? Because you thought it was your brain voice.
Yeah, like, okay, it's, can you hear me or?
Yep, yep.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
hear you. Yes, yes.
So my problem is I don't seem to be looking after my body. So to me, that boils down to self-love. You know, I'm not loving myself enough, because if I did, I would be looking after every part of myself. So that was the problem, or the concern. And when I, you know, the the answer I got or whatever was, just do it. And it sounded like too much of a commercial, you
This
know,
is
and too
this is-
logical, and
Yeah.
sort of almost like, you know, just do it, you know,
Totally,
like
I get
reprimanding
you.
me.
Too simple.
That's the
I get
brain.
you, Sandra, 100%. That's exactly what I deal with in my Ayurvedic practice, because I was in that space. I relate to what you're saying, because when I had a downhill after a 20-year of super successful legal career, and my brain just fried one day, and I could not function, and I couldn't lose weight, and I was just tired. And what do you mean I should just do it?
Yeah.
And so that's where, for example, in my space, that's where I help people, because I really know that it is actually an energetics issue at that point, when so many parts of your system is lost electrical charge. It's difficult to get that whoom going, you know, that coordination. Actually, I feel that actually Reiki energy would be really helpful for you to actually get that, to get to that first level where you can start kicking your own butt into gear, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, interesting, because many years ago I did attain the master level of Reiki, and but I really haven't been tuning into it, you know.
Wow.
So it's obviously a good reminder, and I thank you for that.
Yes, Sandra.
Absolutely.
Can I add something to what Oshi said?
Yes, please.
Absolutely.
You see, you said that you don't take care of your body. And then you talked of self-love. Now, this concept of self-love is a creation of your brain and mind. This concept of self-love is a creation of your brain and mind. Your body is saying, I need care.
Yeah.
Your spirit is saying, do it.
Or is that my brain saying that?
It's not your brain, it is your spirit.
It
This
is?
is the problem, you see, because had your brain been saying that, you would have been doing it.
Oh, interesting.
Because it
That
would
your
have been
brain is-
logical. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a do it. You say, I'm too tired. It's illogical. When I'm tired, how can I do exercise? You see, that is your brain.
Mm.
Or to take Trish's example, craving for sugar. Hey man, I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I need sugar. That is your brain.
Mm.
Whereas your spirit would be saying, hold on, don't
Mm.
damage yourself further. Oh, you don't know anything.
So the excuses are your brain.
Pardon?
The excuses we have, I'm
Well,
too
the excuses
tired.
are not always, well, the excuses are a product of your brain, of your past experiences, of your egos, of your emotions, of your habits.
Mhm.
The spirit never gives you an excuse.
It's true.
That's right. It always
Just do
steers
it.
you right. Yeah.
The spirit only, like, for Cynthia, it was acceptance. The
Mm.
thought came. But doesn't
Yeah.
mean that you reconcile to that thing. It is okay. You accept there's a problem.
Yeah.
Don't fight the problem, solve the problem.
Yeah.
The meaning I got was this, right? Accept,
Mhm.
don't resist. And
But if
once
it
you
was,
accept,
sorry.
yeah,
Yeah, if it was
so-
that simple, I wouldn't, like, obviously I am resisting.
yes,
Yeah.
now resistance is coming from your habit. Habits are coming from your experiences, your
Mm.
emotions, your ego.
Yeah.
It's a very confused state inside us. Therefore, I love to keep it simple and simple.
It's true.
Of course, it's a journey,
A
Sandra,
shortcut.
right? It's a journey. So you're on the journey, you're
Yeah.
in the process because you're here. You're here tonight, and you signed up, and you're here because there is something there where you're searching, for
Yeah.
for something. And as long as you're searching, that's all I say to you is that awesome. Just keep doing it, and eventually maybe we can provide something, maybe just the spark that you get here tonight, or maybe tomorrow or Wednesday from
Mm.
any of us, just to get you going into a different year. Then
Mm.
this is why we're doing the activation summit, because
Yeah.
we all needed the help somewhere, somehow. Somebody needs to have it from this angle, someone from another angle. It
Mhm.
really depends on the situation, but most importantly, you're already mindful, you're already here,
Yeah.
and you're
That's-
already
Yeah.
on the journey.
That's
I
what I
You'll
was
find-
thinking too. And it's the awareness. I think that Sandeep has brought some
Yes.
awareness to it,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I get the sparks. I get this, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm on the path, and it lasts for a week.
It's a week. And look, I used to procrastinate, and Reiki energy simply solved this, and I cannot explain it in
Mm.
any way to you.
Mhm.
Since a few number of sessions got into me, like I'm talking maybe almost 10,
Mhm.
like it was regular and I was committed. Then all of a sudden I found myself that certain energy centers got more corrected. And if you're a
Yeah.
master, as I am, then you know exactly what I mean. And so when you correct those, the flow and the quality of prana going through those chakras, all of a sudden in your 3D reality, something is going to click back in
Yeah.
order.
In
See what I'm
alignment.
saying?
Yeah.
Right? And so it's little by little, even if it's just a tiny step at a time, it's awesome. Progress is already awesome. And then it just will trickle down. So this is why I do suggest that for you, that you go and actually go back to something that obviously you've shown interest in. And so, yeah, hopefully that can help you with the frequency change. So
Mhm.
then you can go and do the next plateau, whatever that means, in your case.
I
Thank
love that. I love that suggestion. Sorry. To do Reiki. Reiki's helped so many people, and it's helped people in different ways. In some people,
Yeah.
it opens up their heart. In some people, it sort of brings this like whole spirituality to them that they've never experienced before. It
Mhm.
is truly a blessing that we can openly do that now. And
Yeah.
it's not some secret way to, manage our
That
right?
and find the tools is what my
Yeah,
experience is, right, Cynthia? Because
exactly. What works
there
for
are
you?
many
What works for
tools,
you? Yeah, not
right?
everything's going to work for one person, and one person is not going to do everything for you either. Before we finish, Sandeep, I just wanted to go over the 4 different things that you were talking about, if it's okay. Attention was the first thing, right?
Mhm.
And
Right.
so we're talking about attention, focus. Does the awareness come into that? Is
Uh,
it attention? But you also said
okay.
action.
I'll put it this way, Cynthia.
Okay.
We start with attention management. Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And I gave you the exercise which will really help you.
The
And when you
breathing.
start managing your attention, focus automatically comes in. And the next stage is you're able to concentrate and hold your attention on a particular thing for a sustained period of time.
So that's observation.
Yeah. So attention management covers focus, concentration, etc., etc. The next is observation. You observe what's happening outside you, you observe what's happening inside you,
Hmm.
and you got to marry them.
Yeah, because you said there was a gap between them.
Yes.
So can you give us an example?
Okay. For example, someone walks in front of me and I hate that person, you see.
Ah,
Now, the moment I look at that person's face, something happens inside me.
mm,
There's a sort of a current or a tingling or some sensation or some churning, or my heartbeats go faster. That is my internal reaction. It's only after this reaction, then I speak in a very impolite way, or my expressions are different. That's the external part. So
okay.
now between the internal reaction of that churning in me or my heartbeats going up, and I making a dirty face at that person, right? Or a disgusting sort of a remark, giving a disgusting sort of a remark, there's a small gap. So that is the space of freedom, freedom from our unwanted reaction.
Hmm.
Freedom which gives us the ability to respond, not react.
Okay. So
this is the observation, right?
is that gap there naturally, or do we have to
It's
put
naturally,
focus on
it's
it?
a very simple thing. There's
Okay.
a gap between the in-breath and the out-breath.
Okay.
Eliminate the gap, just try breathing. I
Right.
promise you, it won't last more than a minute.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so that gap is natural.
Okay.
And identifying that gap is that pause. Because when you start identifying that gap through observation, then you start practicing pause. Now the gap is with you. You hold back your reactions. The emotional mind or the brain lets go of you. The rational brain comes in, and then you respond accordingly.
So it's like taking a breath when you feel
take a
that
breath. A
that
simple
building
thing,
up
just take
inside of you. Take a
yeah.
breath. That's the gap.
So
That's
I'm
the
giving the
freedom.
science behind all these things, because all of you know that, okay, when you're angry, take a breath. But the question, what's the science? I'm talking
Yeah.
of the science because science makes it more easily acceptable and digestible.
Okay.
Okay. And the
Thank
last
you.
part
That helps.
is acceptance. Like I remember when I was in school, one lady's son or one auntie's son, let's call it, in India, we call them aunties, right? So her son failed. So she came and said, look, my son failed, but I'm sure the teacher did not know the subject, or so-and-so thing happened, or, while going to school, that boy or that girl came and fought with my son, and my son was very disturbed and couldn't take the exam. Fair enough, that might have happened. But the truth is your son has failed.
Mm.
And if all these things impacted him, only mean that he had not studied properly. You see, instead of 70%, he could have got 60%, I would have understood. He was disturbed, couldn't do the paper well. But if it disturbed him to such an extent that he failed, then you've got to look, what is that reason? Keep these justifications aside. So what she did was, she was focusing all her energy on other people, justifying the failure of her son, not looking for a solution why her son failed.
Yeah.
And we need to look at solutions. Therefore, we have to accept what is capital IS is. So does that answer your question?
Yes,
Cynthia?
that's good. Yeah, that's really good. I think that you've touched on a lot of really good things in your talk. I really appreciate it. Anyone else have any comments they want to add or experiences they want to share that have to do with either of these talks tonight? We're coming up to the hour, and I can't believe we've only got a few minutes left here,
Yeah,
right?
it really resonated with me, Sandeep. Like everything that you've just said, it's just like a little bit of like a dial was turned
Yeah.
of my world from from another perspective of how you've explained, and this is just so cool. And what really resonates with me, and I want to really convey to everyone, is that knowledge, and there's a difference between knowing something and integrating something. So what I'd like to see from all of the people that are participating here is that they learn how to actually integrate something that maybe they didn't have yesterday, you know, that we can give them that boost, that they'll just put something into operation, you know.
Love it. Love it. That's the activation. Let's activate what we need to focus on. I love the things we've touched on: awareness, focus, attention. You know, and it sort of rolls into Trisha's talk too, where we have to be aware of what we're creating to be able to make changes. If we're not even going to be aware of our bad eating habits or what are the cravings or whatever, or even to be aware that there is a solution that we can bring to us, you know, that is the first step, really, isn't it? And then we want to focus on that solution. That's huge. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for everyone for what you've brought to the meeting tonight and contributed. I think that you know, I learned a lot, and I love talking about this stuff. And you know, it's just Gary and me here, so you know, I don't get to do this deep dive stuff very often. So thanks so much for being here. I really, really love it. We're going to do this again tomorrow night and Wednesday. And we've got a couple more people that are going to be talking tomorrow. We've got Heather at this first speaker. She's a certified nutritional practitioner. She does GAPS, so I think she's going to tell us about that. And then Donna Nagoita, food cultivation and health. And you know, that just jives with me, because I love the cultivation part, and like I said at the beginning, just growing those greens and keeping the nutrition high with nutrients, and got so much more to share. So
yes, so I can't wait for people to come tomorrow, come on board again. And I know that there will be people that have specifically told me they'll be coming tomorrow live, and then a lot of people will do the recording as, you know, work and whatever else, depending on their time zones. But I'm so excited because these two distinctly different nutritionists will be talking about really what's so important for us to understand where the food comes from an energetics point of view. You guys, please understand that basically, if you want to get high frequency food with the proper millivoltage, measurable antioxidants and the value you want there, then you need to know where you source your food from. So Donna will be talking about that. She's also got a background of biology and agriculture engineering, and she's currently serving as an accreditation manager for Organics BC. So she's right at the food source here for us, at least in British Columbia. So that will be like amazing. I can't wait. And Heather will be talking about the good old gut bacteria, you
Gut
guys.
health,
So like I
yeah.
want to know about that gut bacteria
Yeah.
a lot. So I'll be
Yeah.
having my notepads just like I had today.
Yeah.
And it was like an amazing evening. I'm just glad that people were really participating. I think we're all going to get into this a little bit more as, you know, the tomorrow's speakings will happen. And yeah, and I think we should just wrap it up, Cynthia, for the night.
Yeah, thanks so much, Trish and Sandeep, for your talks. I really love that you were able to come and join us. So thank you so much. And to
Thank
everyone
you.
else, have a wonderful
Yeah.
evening, and take that information and let's activate something. Woohoo!
All right. All right. So thank you guys. Namaste, everyone.
Take care.
See you tomorrow, hopefully.